Joshua Fakir, and I want to welcome you back to Timeout. Now, in our Timeout together, I want to talk to you about something that we may not give thought to as much as we should. Something that's truly important in life, and yet we may not know that we have the power to influence it every day. You see, it's something that is common to each and every one of us, yet at the same time is unique to each person individually. You see that thing I'm talking to you about? What I want to talk to you about in this timeout is your legacy. Yes, your legacy. You see, you may look at the title of today's timeout, which is Get Over Yourself. And then you hear what I'm talking about, legacy. And in your mind, you're thinking, how does the two relate? How does it correlate? And I will explain it by telling you about this. You see, lately there's been a lot of information that's been floating around about someone really great who has recently passed away, Kobe Bryant. You know, Kobe Bryant is someone who was influential in this world, not just on the court, but off of the court. You see, a lot of people now are coming forward, a lot of interviews you may see all over the web, all over YouTube and social media of these interviews with Kobe Bryant, because he has something he contributed to mankind and that a lot of people are adopting it, and that was a work ethic. And this work ethic of him that he had the power to just influence a lot of people's lives. A lot of people are coming forward and talking about what this man had did for them and for their lives and for their family. And what's so interesting to me about the work ethic of his, he talks about the drive that he had. You know, there's a interview that I saw recently that also surfaced. It was called The Mindset of a Winner. And in that interview, he was sitting down, and the guy who was interviewing him talked about this disability that Kobe Bryant had to just overcome whatever trial he was in and let the best of him come out. You see, there's been many times when Kobe Bryant was been in the game and he didn't have the best start. You see, sometimes we look at greatness and thinking to be great, you have to be great all the time. On 24/7, but there's going to be times when your days may not start as strong as you want it to be. But you've heard the saying before, it's not how you start, it's how you end. And so there'll be games he was in where he would score minimal points. Maybe he'll be on a slump. He's not doing well the first quarter, the second quarter, or the third quarter. But then suddenly something happens in the fourth quarter. He will turn it on. He'll find some way somehow to dig into himself and bring the best that he has. In sports, they call it clutch. He was clutch. And you know, one guy who was interviewing him says, you know, this used to boggle our minds how you can just have the worst game. And then suddenly, when it mattered most, fourth quarter, you'll take over and you'll score more in one quarter than some people had the entire game and take your team to the win. You know, how did you do that? And he said, you know, this one thing that I used to tell myself, get over yourself. Get over yourself. This is not about you. Get over yourself. There are some people who came and spent their hard-earned money to come and watch you perform. Now stop thinking about yourself and give these people what they paid for. And when I heard that, that blew my mind, because for me personally, it was freeing. It felt like it was freeing for me. So often when we are not at our best, so often when we perform and it's not the way we wanted to or expected to perform, we can be so hard on ourselves sometimes. Sometimes we can be our biggest critic. Sometimes we would be so disappointed and so upset with ourselves that we would punish ourselves by sabotaging everything, destroying it all. You say, you know what, I give up. I give up, you know, and the thing about it is that we have to realize that what we've been called to do, the gift that we have, the purpose that we have, it's not for us. It's not for us. And when you out of self-pity decide that you're no longer going to share what you have inside because of a bad day, is the thing about it is you're not just depriving yourself, you're depriving the people around you who needs what you're carrying. Somebody needs what you're carrying. And what we have to do is get to a place where we're going to do the best we can, but not give up, because it's not about us. We have to get over ourselves. You see, I'm not just saying it to you, I'm saying it to myself. There was a period of time where I knew that I needed to come out with this YouTube channel. I knew somebody needed the encouragement. I knew that there's things that I've been through, some tests that I had in life that I needed to share with people. You guys just seen a video recently. I talked about being impacted but not infected, and I talked about the story of what happened to me and how I had to get over it. And from that video, so many people reached out and said, man, this helped me, because a lot of people are impacted about something in regards to something that happened in their life, and it made them prisoned to that era, to that scene, to whatever happened, and they were not able to move past it. And so you see, for a long time, Timeout was on my heart, but I just felt like I didn't have what it takes to let it out, and I had to get over myself. I had to say, this is not about you, Josh. This is about you being the encouragement that you are to people. You see, each of you have a gift that you have inside. There's something that you have, and let me tell you, there's a passage of scripture that says, if a farmer watched every cloud, if the farmer waited for perfect weather, they will never plant, and because they never planted, they will never harvest. There is no perfect season to do anything. Sometimes you just got to step out by faith. And so you can't sit there and look at yourself and say, I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet. No, get over yourself. Step out. Do it. You know, sometimes the biggest victories comes out of the biggest failures. We learn sometimes from hardship. And so everything is not going to be perfect in life. And if you're waiting for things to be perfect to step out and follow your dreams, then I got to tell you, you are never going to chase your dreams. Get over yourself. It's okay if you mess up. It's okay if you fail once or twice. It doesn't mean you're a failure. You guys may have heard me say this all the time about Thomas Edison and the light bulb, and how he talks about it took him over 10,000 trials to figure out the incandescent light bulb. But you know what? Over 10,000 trials, some people would say, you know what, he failed that many times. You know what he said? Thomas Edison said, I never failed. I just found 10,000 ways it doesn't work. And today we can walk into a room and flip a switch and the light will come on, because he was able to get over himself. Yeah, I messed up. It didn't work this time. It didn't work this time. 10,000 times it didn't work, but he kept going because he knew that it wasn't about him. It was something greater. And today we can even celebrate the fact that we can walk into a room and turn on light because of one man who had to get over himself. Get over yourself. It's okay. Bounce back up. Get up. Whatever didn't work for you, it's okay. It's okay. We have to get over ourselves because we all have a legacy. You have a legacy that you're going to leave behind. You have a legacy. You have a footprint that you have to leave in this world. I say we all need to make a mark that cannot be erased. Kobe Bryant today is no longer alive to influence his legacy, but his legacy lives on. Through history, people are going to know about him, not just because of who he was on the court, but who he was off of the court. He made a mark in this world, and you have to make your mark too. You can't let ourselves stop ourselves. Sometimes we can be our biggest hindrances. It's not always people who gets in the way. Sometimes we can get in our own way. But we have to get over ourselves sometimes, because you have a legacy to leave. I have a passage that I really love. And this is about our legacy. And I want you to pay attention to this. The passage says that a good name is better than fine perfume. That's one of my favorite verses. A good name is better than fine perfume. And that sounds good and everything. And I used to quote it a lot. And I used to be like, oh, I memorized it. But there was one day I sat down and I was like, what does that really mean? A good name is better than fine perfume. Well, listen to this. We all have this fragrance that we love. This thing that we like to spray on, and when you put it on, you're a GQ now. You're gonna go out there, you're gonna kill them, because you may even get a lot of compliments when you put this fragrance on because you love it so much. But guess what's gonna have to happen? The next day you're gonna have to reapply it, and then the following day you're gonna have to reapply it. What am I saying? It doesn't matter how nice it smells. It doesn't matter how valuable or expensive it is. It lasts but for so long. It lasts but for just about as long as you can to get you through the day until you have to put it back on. But your name, on the other hand, your name is so powerful that it can do three things. Listen to this. Your name can go ahead of you. You can have such a reputation that people know about you before you even get there. You have references for a job, or they may interview or see your name on an application. And if they heard of you, they can know of you without meeting you. But it depends on the kind of name that you're carrying. You see, that's how an artist can sell out a concert in another country before they even step foot on that country, because their name preceded them. Look at us, your name can do. Your name can live in the present. You can walk into a room and people see you and say, oh, look, there goes John, there goes Sally, there goes this person. Oh, that person, is something about that person. Every time I see them, they have a pleasant demeanor. They're always looking out for other people. You know, your name walks with you. Your name lives in the present. But then look what else your name does. And when we are no longer here to influence our names will outlive us. There's people today that we celebrate in history, and they haven't taken a breath in years, but we're celebrating them today because their name outlived them. That's their legacy. Your name goes before you, your name walks with you, and your name will be here when you're no longer here. So we have to be more cognizant. We have to be more aware of our name and what type of legacy we're going to be leaving behind. We're all leaving behind a legacy. Don't compare yourself to somebody else who may have had an impact that changed the whole world. No, we all have a legacy. Your name will live on. And every day you can influence your legacy. So if you're listening to me and you say, you know what, I'm doing what I need to do every day. You know, I'm giving my best. I'm putting my best foot forward. And I'm going to continue to be intentional and deliberate about the legacy I leave behind for my children and my grandchildren. Another passage says a good person leaves an inheritance for their children's children. You're thinking ahead. You're thinking about the people that's coming behind you. Keep doing what you're doing. But if you're listening to me and you say, you know what, I haven't been as intentional as I could have. You know, right now I don't have the best or the greatest name right now. It's okay. It's okay. Don't let that stop you, because I have good news for you. Every moment that you are alive and you're breathing, you can influence your name. Just say, from this day forward, everything I'm going to do is going to be intentional and deliberate because of the name and the legacy I want to leave behind. We all have every day we wake up, we have a chance to make an impact in life that cannot be erased. Every day we wake up, we have a chance to make history so that our children's children can talk about what we did when we walked this earth. So everybody that's listening to me today, whether you feel like you've already did enough to influence your legacy, whether you feel like you haven't done enough, as of today, make a conscious decision that you're going to think about your legacy. Every decision you make, every day you step forward, you sit down and you plan, and don't let anything stop you from going after your dreams. I'm going to leave you with 4 quotes that I read today that about your legacy. And I really want you to think about what I'm saying to you now, because I want your thoughts to be wrapped around it when you're moving forward from this point forward, because you're going to leave behind a great legacy. People are going to remember you for the things that you've done. And don't look at anything as significant or insignificant. All of our legacies are specific and unique to us. Okay, so the first quote is this. It says, your life should not be measured by duration, but by donation. It's not how long you lived, it's what you did while you were living. That's from Dr. Miles Monroe. Another one by William James says, the great use of life is to spend it on something that would outlast you. Spend your life doing something that would outlast you. Think about the generations that's coming behind you. This is your legacy. Last one by Peter Stroppel says, legacy is not leaving something to somebody, but leaving something in somebody. You're not leaving something to people. Your legacy is not material things. It's not what you leave to people. It's what you leave in them. That's your legacy. The last one is by a gentleman by the name of Gary. I won't try to pronounce his last name, but it begins with a V. And it says this: please think about your legacy, because you're writing it every day. Every day you're working on your legacy. Every word you speak, every action, just be intentional. You're going to leave a great name behind. People are going to remember you, but you got to let your giftings out. You got to get over yourself. You got to get over yourself and say, you know what? I'm stepping out and I'm going to do what I believe I was called to do, because it's not about me. It's about the people who's going to be impacted by what was put in me. You have something in you. don't go to the grave without letting it out. God bless you. I'll see you at our next time out.
Deeper the fear, the greater the win. If you let the Savior come near and purify from within, gotta let the blessings begin. Take it from the top to the bottom. Satan will never win your heart. Use the gospel to stop him, like a message in a bottle. God's waiting for you to find him. History's in the making if you're following the Father. Through all of the suffering and no love from the government, but I will never let this flesh and bone decide this victory. So bring the pain with no medics. Never gonna get in the way, cause I'm ready. Christ gonna save the day with no delays. Everybody gonna feel his presence. This the truth that I know. Gotta give it all until I go. Man, this life is so hard, but I disregard it cause I